At 7:35. Call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Boonton Historic Preservation Commission. Our meetings are public and we welcome the public's participation in matters of interest to the commission. Our meeting schedule is posted on the official website of the town of Boonton. The Boonton Main Street Historic District, the Ironworks Residential District, the Rockaway Historic District, and the Ironworks Industrial Historic District are recognized for their historical significance, and enabling ordinances of the town of Boonton render the historical elements within these districts as public trust resources that the Historic Preservation Commission is charged with protecting, restoring, and enhancing. Commission review and approval are required for any municipal permits involving signage and the construction or renovation of building facades. Commission adheres to established guidelines and to the Secretary of the Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic properties and its review procedures. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Normally, I shouldn't say normally, but I think what the town does is the nomination of officers before the roll call, and then the roll call is with the new members. So I think we'll try to follow that amongst a number of audibles that we're calling. If we could begin with from our returning members nominations for, well, actually, we should start with the swearing in. So I think we know that we've lost Jeff. We know we had a permanent member who stepped down. So we know I know we have a spot. So I feel it's safe. Should ask the vice chair to go ahead and begin swearing in our new member.
Sure, she'll be voting, but not really know who she's voting for, which would be. I don't know. Well, and I don't even know what the lay of the land looks like.
Well, there's always abstention. She can always
That's
abstain
true.
from the vote.
Yeah.
So let's.
Okay. I think that's right. Are you ready? Okay. This is not a, to my knowledge, and this will be more ceremony than a legal proceeding. But you just repeat after me. Do you want to use Bible? Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Elizabeth McGrath,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States,
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially and justly perform all the duties
that I will impartially and justly perform all the duties
of the office of Historic Preservation Commissioner
of the office of the Historic Preservation Commissioner
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Rev,
Please join me.
Great.
There will be, there's a paperwork, a signed version of those that I know our clerk in the town. Did you already, by any chance, sign any paperwork? Okay, so we'll get you, Liz, our clerk, to get your email if she doesn't have it, and get that on file. Again, I think this, I myself have not done the swearing in for the Historic Preservation Commission. I had it in the written form. I think, like I say, we don't execute a legal, I mean,
it works.
okay. All right. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I'll send you a copy of the town ordinances that are applicable to historic preservation. And there's a design book that was done a couple of years ago. And the Secretary of the Interior standards historic rehabilitation.
Okay, great. And just, in the spirit of new beginnings, I go by Betty. So
Betty.
My full name is Elizabeth Betty.
Zeke, nice to meet you.
We,
Ian.
goes online.
You'll have the next 15 years to get to know everyone. That's right. Okay, so our first order of business is to elect officers. This is essentially our reorganization meeting for 2025. So do I have a nomination for the position of chair?
I would like to nominate Zeke Balin for chair.
Would anyone
This
like
is
to?
Adrian.
I would second that nomination.
Okay,
There is a nomination by Anthony nominating Robert as chair.
okay. One sec, I keep track of this. It's long.
I mean, the funny part, Zeke, do you still want to do it?
No,
Exactly.
no, but that's
I don't want to do it either.
so I will say that I would like to step down to the position of chair. I would not accept the nomination as chair. I'm grateful for my time as chair in the position, and thankful for your support, but I'd like to give somebody else a chance. So we have a nomination on the floor for Rob Salvo. I will second that nomination. Any other nominations for the position of chair? Okay, so should we vote on chair first or collect nominations for the rest
I
of the
think
position?
we should do one position.
Okay. Okay, so we essentially have one nomination for the position of chair for Rob Salvo. Should we do a voice vote? So Ian, if you would please call the vote.
Yes. Zeke.
So this is
This is-
a yes or a no for Rob Salvo as chair. Yes.
Ian Brasso, yes. Patricia.
Yes,
Adrian.
Yes.
Elliot.
Yes,
Rob.
Do I abstain or do I vote for myself? Or I don't know what the story is. I say yes then. Fine.
All right, and Betty.
Abstain.
Same. Anthony and Victor are absent today.
Okay. So that motion moved. We have a new chair. So does it make sense for me to continue to call I think so. Do we have a nomination for the position of vice chair?
I'll nominate Zeke Balin for vice chair.
Is there a second?
I
I'll
will
second that. Patricia Butock.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations for vice chair?
and you'll accept.
I would accept vice chair.
Okay.
There is a nomination from Anthony, of Anthony, for vice chair.
Okay. I would also, I mean, for what it's worth, I would also accept Anthony as vice chair. Does anyone like to second nomination for Anthony as vice
Oh.
chair?
I'll second him.
Okay, so we have two nominations. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, so seeing that we have two nominees, I would like to rescind my acceptance of that nomination, if I can do that. Would like to not accept that nomination. Anthony is absent, is that correct?
That is correct.
Do we know that he'll accept it if?
We do.
Well, he nominated
He
himself.
nominated himself, so I'd assume so.
We had a conversation. He will accept it.
So can we have a voice vote, please, Ian, for vice chair?
Zeke,
Yes.
Ian, yes. Patty,
Yes.
Adrian,
I don't know Anthony, so I'm gonna abstain if that's okay.
Sure.
Elliot,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Betty.
I abstain.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And last but perhaps most important, nominations for secretary.
I'm gonna nominate Ian Brastro. How's that?
I'll second.
And I'll third.
Any other nominations for secretary? Seeing none, Ian, will you please call the vote?
Zeke,
Yes.
Ian, yes. Patty,
Yes.
Adrian,
Yes.
Elliot,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
and Betty.
Abstain.
Okay. So I think typically at this point, I probably muddled it, but we would call the meeting to order. And I'm not sure how they do that for the town council meetings, but Rob, you would be in the position of chair for this meeting.
Okay.
Seeing as your vice chair is absent and well, would you like to chair the meeting? I'm happy to do it for you while you're on Zoom.
All right. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, take notes.
I'm taking notes. I got the pencil.
Ian, can you move the roster of call-ins to
Yeah.
the side? Thank you.
All right, thank you all for your patience with that. So in our first, we have minutes to approve. What's our first agenda
We
item?
will have to defer the minutes as I was not able to get access to the recording in time to type up the minutes. of
Okay.
Today's meeting. This is partly due to the fact that we had a delayed January meeting.
That's right. 2 weeks
It
ago.
should not be an issue in moving forward.
Right. Okay, thank you. So I'm pulling up the agenda now, but if you want to go ahead and the first item then is our first applicant.
Our first applicant is 707 Main Street for an external lighting application.
So if we have representative of that application, yeah, please approach the it's less for our purpose, but for the recording. You just this is on.
It should be on.
Just a point of order. According to the minutes of the January 1st council meeting, Elizabeth was taking an alternate position. So the question is she acting as an alternate or a full member for the purposes of tonight's voting?
So do we have if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full members, I think would she not normally have
She
a voting role
participates-
tonight?
She participates in the discussions, but as an alternate, she does not vote.
Yep. That's not necessarily how we've done it in the past.
What have we done in the past, Ian?
We've treated alternates basically as members.
Remember?
Yeah, I also thought it was a 7-member board
Mhm.
and the alternates vote to fill out the 7. We have 9, 2 alternates so that we only need 5 for a quorum, I guess, but
I'm not sure how it works.
okay. Well, I will ask you to please vote to your level of comfort tonight. I think that would be certainly consistent with the last year, the alternates, and then we'll seek clarification on if any of those,
Fair enough.
if it becomes relevant to the decision of the vote, I think we can hold on a decision. But I think it's consistent with our precedent. As to your level of comfort, we welcome your vote this evening. We have
I don't think
two
I don't think it's going
applications.
to be that close of a vote either way in most cases, so we shouldn't be too much of a big
That's
deal.
right.
Yep.
But thank you for the point of order. Good point. We do need to confirm because it's not just open seats, it's actually the particular seats based on and the alternate versus a regular member as a longer term. So could be over 15 years. It's a joke, but okay.
Not a joke in my case. Sorry.
No.
In about 30 years.
To
Me
that
too,
point,
Patty.
to that point, Z, quick question. Anthony is technically an alternate. Does that mean that he will be elevated to a full member position?
We have to find that out.
Okay,
Thank you.
but we do have a full member position open.
Right, right. So that could also be case for Betty as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Apologize. If you'd please state your name and the address of the application.
Okay, the aerial application is 0707. We're gonna make it, I'm the contractor, my name is Lima Carzuca. And then we're gonna make a job over there, we're gonna put lights, we're gonna add lights on both sides, we made the sign already. So, I got an email, you guys sent me the, what is this around, this is the cover of the light bulb. They actually is 14 inches wrong, it's not 24. And my guy make a mistake. In the details over there, but it's
Yep.
just 14, it's not 24 diameter. So, that's the thing. And this is the optional option, we can put it or not, you guys. That's it for you, right?
Do you have the, I guess you don't have the rest of the fixture?
No, but I have the drawings, that I sent to,
should be
Mr.
Patrick.
Patrick.
Maybe, is it the same? Could you pull up
It is.
the,
I will pull those up.
I think we have them.
You can, yeah, you
That-
can see more properly over there, how it's gonna look like.
We're gonna bring it up here.
And then actually is, this one is the, that covers the light bulb, right?
Mhm.
And then the light is going to be above the sign, the channel letter, has no lights inside, just, the light going to be in the goose lamps.
Mhm.
Like, you can look over there, it's going to be like, how many, I show 1, 2, 3, like 5 of them, every 4 feet between those, goose lamps. So, yeah, basically it's all the, but the information is wrong right there, they say 24, it's just 14.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It not to be.
Quick question. Is the measurement accurate, as denoted here? That would be 9 feet from the street to the level of the light?
Actually, right now, it's a little bit more, like 12 inches from the top of the window to the sign. So we got still room to put the signs to the bottom, just in case we need room to stop.
Right.
Just already, I measure it 12 inches, got.
Okay. So what you're saying is that, sorry, I'm trying to zoom in here. Your measurement is,
You see the little gap over there?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nine feet to the top of the sign, and then there's a foot gap above that.
Yeah, that also that we have 8 inches, which means that
8 inches.
see the frame of the lights.
Yeah.
The bottom, this is 8 inches. It's exactly the space you have out there right now.
Okay.
It's
So-
exactly.
So the total distance from the bottom of the lamp to the sidewalk is how many feet?
From the ground.
Yeah.
To the top of the sign.
To the bottom of the lamp?
There should be that size over there plus 30 inches. Plus 30 inches because the height of the sign is 30 inches. It's you can see over there, it's like, if you see the ground, those is 9 feet plus 30 is like, let's say it's 108 plus
11,
40 inches, kinda. roughly.
so it's over 11 feet.
Wow.
The minimum is 10?
Yeah.
well, did you get the notes? Did Mr. Laverty send you some notes from the last month's hearing a couple weeks ago?
About what?
About the comments that the this board made regarding your application from last time?
Yeah, yeah,
He sent you some notes?
yeah, about this one right now.
Yeah. So my concern is this the same sign or a new sign?
The sign is already there.
Yeah.
Because
Same
first,
sign.
the customer, that's how it happened. The customer, I was 100% to go ahead with the lights. So, and the last minute he decides to make the lights. So I make it 2 applications. The first one was for the sign, for the channel there with no lights. And the second one, I just put this light, whose lamps in the top. This is the second application.
Yeah, yeah.
But everything is right there, is the way we, proposed the first time. So we're just gonna add the lights above the sign.
Is
I
this
have
still-
confirmed that cigarettes has been corrected. This is an old rendering for
That's
the
great. Yeah, okay.
spelling, but the sign as hung is spelled correctly.
So has the
Oh,
sign
yeah, the first mistake that I made, the cigarettes, if you can see the cigarettes,
spelled
and
wrong?
the T was, but right there it's okay, right this, again, he make it, this spell wrong with there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just the T.
Has the sign been approved?
That was my concern too, is the spelling.
The sign, the spelling is correct as hung. The sign was approved back in November, during our meeting then.
So this is just,
For that one, yeah.
this is just a question of the lighting.
We had, in our last meeting in January, we had originally expressed concerns about the materials of the sign. With respect to the lighting aspect of having gooseneck lighting hung above what is acrylic LED or acrylic sign, right?
Basically, do you let me talk?
Yeah.
So, it's just a channel lights, we call it like that. It's like
Right.
a channel, a channel.
Yeah.
Channel.
Yeah.
It's aluminum body with acrylic face.
Right.
Yeah, we make it with light, but this can, we not put no lights on it.
Right. To our
Body.
to our point, and we thank you for that, because like, as you know, the ordinance would prevent that. Our new concern that we expressed last month during our meeting was the reflective nature of the acrylic letters
Mhm.
and whether or not the lighting would hinder the readability of the sign due to the reflection of the light bulb itself on the acrylic face of the sign.
Okay.
So I'm just re-expressing concerns that we mentioned last time. The new rendering has fixed the location of the light, so it's no longer blocking
It's going to be exactly in the edge of the top of the channel letter right now.
right.
It's going to be, this is the edge. And then in the picture we show it, we're gonna put exactly like we showed in the picture. You see that?
Excuse
It's gonna
me.
be in the top. We
Right.
don't wanna touch it. We don't wanna cover the channel there.
Right. You addressed that concern from our last
Mhm.
meeting that we expressed. The last rendering had that actually the physical lighting structure blocking. That's no longer the issue. Now the issue is whether or not the actual light from the lamps will cause a glare on the acrylic sign, because acrylic is a very reflective surface.
It's acrylic is very glossy.
Yeah.
It can be reflective, but the light's coming from inside. Remember, it's going to be out. It's out of space. I mean, you want to light up
Right.
the area to the bottom. You don't want to light up the lights because the lights is facing, but it's not facing the light bulb. It's facing to the front. So, but I don't know if you want to be. But it looks like a glass. Yeah, it's very glass.
Right. Reflection. So if you have your light right here,
Yeah.
you have your acrylic right there.
Yeah.
Reflection from the light to the people down below is what we're asking about right now. Do you know if it will have a reflection that a passerby
You think
will
that
see
light's gonna hit on the thing and the thing and the face
on the
acrylic
face of the
and
sign?
they're gonna
Yeah,
point it to the floor. This is what you're saying.
yes, essentially.
Mm. It's yellow acrylic. I'm not 100% about that, but I don't think so. Well, I don't know, but I cannot tell you now actually because it's acrylic.
Right.
The light's coming from inside, but I never have that problem.
I'm sorry, can I offer an opinion here?
An expert opinion.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks, 3 weeks with the pollution on the street, it will not be glossy enough to reflect.
Okay.
So like at first, yes, 100% right. The glare from having lights that close would provide glare. But on Main Street, nothing stays clean long enough. And
Okay.
so within a couple of weeks, there would be no more.
Okay.
It's not a concern that I would have as someone putting them.
Okay.
Taking advantage of the situation.
Very good.
And you're willing to affirm that, I mean, if we approve this, it has to be approved as drawn. I think last time we had some concerns that I mean, I think you've adjusted the rendering for the goosenecks to fit the rendering on the building, the photo rendering. Last, I mean, we could pull it up, I suppose, maybe, but my memory is that there was some concern that there actually wasn't room for the goosenecks to fit between the windowsill and the top of your sign. So, what you're showing here in the rendering and in the diagrams, you would have to be able to install it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
look like that.
Yeah.
Because if it's installed differently, you'd have to tear it down.
Yeah, it's gonna look exactly like I'm showing right now.
Okay.
Right on the top of the channel there. I don't wanna put it so, because there's not too much room. Like I said, just 8 inches room right there. And the top of the channel there, there's 8 inches. I measure it and I build the thing exactly like that, 8 inches. So it's going to exactly fit over there.
I mean, I think the biggest mistake was the allowance of the backlit sign, even though it's not backlit, it's still built to be backlit. It looks like a backlit sign. But that was approved. Any other comments from any questions or comments from any of the board members?
Nope.
My concern about the spelling, I'm just going back to that.
The spelling was
And-
fixed.
It is fixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Fixed. I
fixed. Yeah.
confirmed that earlier today.
Okay, it may have cut out. Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was not at the November meeting, so I would never have approved a sign
Yeah.
that looked like this.
Yeah, I agree with it. I wasn't there. There was the one meeting I missed too. But it is what it is. We're stuck with it.
Well, so.
I'm not comfortable with the material. To me, it looks like a strip mall.
But it's been approved.
It's
been
approved and in
approved.
place.
Yeah, we can't do anything about it.
This is about the lighting.
Yep.
Well, I think, are there any provisions or conditions or comments on the fixture, the lighting spacing, from any of the members?
The only thing I want to say is just confirm that that you have the full 10 feet between the bottom of the light and the sidewalk. That is an ordinance, so if it is measured and it's not fitting that, then you would have to redo the fixtures. But that's the only thing I have to say.
What's the material of the black band that is, the lights are mounted on? Steel? Painted?
It's built on the steel part.
Brett, can you paint acrylic?
Mhm.
Not that flat.
I'm just thinking of some strategies you can employ if it doesn't work. I mean, there is glare and it's obnoxious and you don't like it, which you could possibly do.
The option on that.
Yeah,
One thing I suggested, that take all the acrylic faces off, apply the layer back up, that's.
if in that case is that problem, I can suggest change to the customer the face. Like we can make a mask so that like that we can know, when the light pop up.
Yeah, I mean-
Not,
You'll want to correct that on your own if it's not,
oh, yeah, yeah.
you'll have your own motivation.
So, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the lighting of the business sign as presented. And if there are issues arise with the reflective nature of the acrylic letters, that there are some options available to correct that.
Can I add on to double check the,
And to confirm that there's 10 feet distance between the sidewalk and the bottom of the lighting fixtures.
I would second that.
All right, can we do a roll call?
Sure.
Zeke,
Yes.
Ian, yes. Patty,
Abstain.
Adrian,
Abstain.
Elliot,
Yes,
Rob,
Abstain.
so do
And
we have
Betty.
5?
So we currently have 3 yeses and the rest abstentions.
So, you want to vote, Betty?
I was gonna say.
Okay. Let me get back to Pat. I think that sounds like, I mean, you have no votes and we have, you have 3 yes votes. I don't, know exactly what to do in this instance, but, from my understanding is you've met the requirements for, the ordinance to be approved. So we'll talk to Pat and confirm what the next steps are. We'll get back to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Good luck.
Next, we have 915 Main Street, a signage application.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean to overstep there.
Not at all.
No,
Not at
very
all.
helpful.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Representing 950. 6 West.
Yep.
Yep.
This kind of goes along with.
So my question, if I can just start is, do you know if the vertical height is the same as the,
Yes, they're both 30.
Wasn't this originally a farmer's? So I
Farmers
assume
insurance. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yep.
Farmers has moved out and this is the new,
Right, I
Tenant?
guess when they redid the facade.
Yeah.
They talked to her about doing that and then she withheld.
okay.
my only concern with this was, that you were, leaving adequate room for the trim and molding, which I wasn't exactly clear from the application on that, street facing sign. The fact that you've got the same vertical height as and it looks like the mounting detail is the same also.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, the other one looks fine, so I think I'm glad that you're aligning the heights
The
there.
idea was to keep everything center.
Good.
There was some question by the owner, and I actually double checked it about the width. He wasn't sure if both sides were the same width, so if they weren't, would the sign look different, but we double checked it, everything's.
Great,
So,
that's great. Any other comments or questions?
No, I think this looks good.
The side facing sign. I mean,
Those are replacement.
also the farmers probably is there. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That was my only question, was gonna be related to height and placement on the side, but if it's an existing location, great.
I think the plan is
Okay,
but I don't know the story.
well, it may be coming.
Maybe.
Well, if there are no other questions or comments, would someone like to make a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve.
I can
I'll second
second
it.
that. This is Adrian.
We'll do roll call?
Sure. Z,
Yes.
Ian, yes. Patty,
Yes,
Adrian,
Yes.
Elliot,
Yes,
Rob,
Yes.
Betty. Abstain.
Brad, thank you.
thank you.
Next on the agenda under old business is the Boonton Gorge National Natural Landmark status.
Nothing to report, Ian, as
Nothing.
of yet.
And then after that, we have already done the nomination of officers. We have the town council report.
I could just give a brief one. On Monday, the town council meeting, a resolution was passed for, related to the Arch Bridge, the county, as part of that agreement for the grant funding. The town was required to provide an easement, for the county, for the Arch Bridge. And, that agreement was, managed through our town administrator, required a council resolution. So that was included in the agenda. I made the request of the mayor because we had no advance, knowledge of it I had no advance knowledge as the chair of the HPC, and asked if in the future, I publicly stated that, this commission is established, to provide expertise specifically with those kinds of, applications. And, it might have been helpful for the town to have an advanced review of, by this commission, on that agreement and, prior to the resolution, to be able to say that it comes with the approval of the Historic Preservation Commission. The mayor agreed that, it was an oversight, and in the future, they will try to do better, to engage this committee before, bringing such matters to vote in the council.
Is the easement county access?
Yes.
Across the bridge?
Yes. It's across the bridge and surround a property, surrounding, the bridge. Essentially, probably related to maintenance, and, inspection. The only anecdote I can offer is that the proposal from the county was that the easement would, provide them access to the entire, parcels. And the county, or the town, amended it to, a path and an area around the
Bridge,
The
but
bridge.
access from below and above,
yes.
would that have any impact on an eventual Boonton Heritage Trail?
I don't believe so. Not any negative impact. Yeah. But I can still ask after the fact, we could do a postmortem and ask to provide if anyone here thinks it's worthwhile, I'll ask for the agreement.
It'd be nice to see the agreement.
Yeah, okay.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't think we discussed it this year, but I believe, Elliot, I think you were the one who pointed out this year also, we have, the state has passed some like continuing education requirement for municipal historic preservation commissions. So we'll get to go to school. We'll get some
Right.
training.
By the New Jersey Historic Trust, which is, as knowledgeable as you can get.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Any questions regarding the town activities?
Any movement on Riverbank?
River Walk,
Riverwalk.
no movement.
Well, that's pretty much going to be locked at this point, right? It's not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, yeah, in terms of, I think no new filings with the town and no observed activity.
Right, because they don't want to do anything without a pilot. We're not giving it to them right now, right? So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're about to get to public comment. And in fact, we can just, I think if there are no further questions from the committee to me,
I do, yeah, any news about, so our newly assigned round 4 affordable housing obligation, the number is being, I wouldn't say challenged, but, the number that DCA gives each municipality is really a starting point. If you don't accept it, you just have to come up with, um, an alternative giving certain criteria. And we chose that route. my
Correct.
understanding is.
that's right. Our planner and attorney, looked at the legal requirements of the town and proposed, or asserted our own number, which I believe, I understand that was filed last month. I believe there's a period where that can be challenged by other individuals or entities. And then I'm not sure the state also has to approve that.
Mhm.
I can get more information on it, but I don't know offhand.
Just one thing I want to point out, which I didn't see in any of the, in any of the minutes where this was discussed or in the town, newsletter, is that Boonton is pursuing, center designation through Highlands. And in the affordable housing legislation, the environmental features that are regulated under the Highlands, which are not regulated by DEP, like prime groundwater recharge areas, steep slopes, upland forest, could be subtracted from Boonton's vacant area analysis, which would take more land off the table for development, which the town might want to pursue.
Yeah, would you mind following up with, either with me and or just an email to the,
Sure.
or rather, if perhaps this should be a recommendation by this body, to the town. Could we,
Because
we,
historic resources would be included in that.
yeah. My thought is, if it's something that we think that we should, and my gut is to say, maybe we should consider, a letter to the town, notifying or recommending this. But I would provide some information to the council prior to, either signing or voting on that.
Sure.
But if we could
Sure.
do that before our next meeting,
Sure, be happy to.
if we're not missing a deadline.
And this is something the municipal attorney would know and would
Okay.
to verify or say, no, that's crazy.
There are a few other, in the, canal, basically the Plain Street parking lot, which is part of the, Plain Street Canal or the Morris Canal. It's actually a historic property. There's an application for a Main Street, a new building on Main Street backing up against the Plain Street parking lot. I mentioned it at a previous meeting. There was a public, presentation made to the council. It would require an agreement. It would involve an elevator from the parking lot to Main Street. It would have public access. That would require an agreement with the town and the developer, the property owner. But because that parking lot is, and that parcel is listed on the ROSI currently, it would need to be, a portion of it or all of it would need to be removed from the ROSI. My understanding is that, it, as well as the DPW yard, which are listed,
On the Rossi.
on the Rossi are incorrectly done so, was not, this is just, again, anecdotal, but, my understanding is the town planner is working on what it would take to remove
Right.
the DPW yard and the parking lot or portions of it from that.
Because to take away something that's in the Rossi from public use requires like 4 times the size mitigation.
I recall that
Ridiculous.
from, yeah, with the Eston House.
Right.
So, yeah, I appreciate you all helping me, continuing to ask those questions and keeping on top of the progress, because any of those items that relate to the historic resources, really this body is meant to represent the will of the people of Boonton. And we serve the town and the town council by, being vigilant and reviewing and adding our suggestions.
Well, the parking lot is doubly, it's regulated not only by Green Acres because it's on the Ross, but also the entire Morris Canal, former bed of the Morris Canal is a national and state landmark or historic, historic resource. And anything that's proposed there would have to be approved by the State Historic Preservation Office.
Which we've talked about the pickleball courts also in the Canal Side Park, which may have been at our first, I think it was just in January. No, it was it was in November. The town authorized the engineering plans for those courts. There was some discrepancies in the timeline, but I'm told by our special projects coordinator in the town that it will be through those engineering plans that SHPO will be asked to review for the pickleball courts. So can we close? Yeah.
What's the status on it?
So that was actually Monday night. There was a presentation made by the consultant the town hired to determine basically if it's a viable business plan. How do we determine if the investment can pay for itself? Will anyone? So he's about halfway to 2/3 of the way done with their study. Made an initial presentation. You can view the PowerPoint. There's not a lot of hard data in it, but you can review it online. The finding that he presented was that it's a value. We do have some in northern New Jersey, the other theaters that are active. There's an opportunity for kind of untapped market with regard to musical performance and arts education. So his recommendation, I think the short answer is the recommendation is going to be to try to partner with, find a operating company for the theater, an operating partner who would lease the theater and run the programming early before we start renovations. So he's got probably, I don't know, 5 weeks left in the study, and then the town will start. There was not broker, but this consultant would try to put us in touch with potential operating partners. Town would probably do an RFP. We would interview operating partners and yeah, that's the status. You're welcome. Okay, so can we close town council member comments and open it up for public comment? If you just state your name. Thank you. It is the proposed, it's the name of an LLC of a developer who owns, well, I'm not sure if they're the owner or that's a separate entity, but essentially it's, as we use it, it's shorthand for the future apartment complex that's planned to be built on the old ironworks site down in the gorge. There was a historic brick building there that they removed, and some other buildings, yeah, which were.
And the wall is still there.
That's right. The retaining wall is the, yeah, that's That's predominantly their property, though there is a portion of it that is on town property. They're handling it. I don't know the status.
That's being regulated by DEP. They have a licensed site remediation. And that's a requirement that they remediate before they build anything.
They have approved plans with the planning board. They didn't ask for any variances. And yeah, that's Riverwalk. Thank you. We have a proposal to adjourn, motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Favor.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, folks, have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Chair. Congratulations.